Yet again, we are going to see another slow death of a franchise. Oh, a beloved franchise, by the way. Now, I get that A Different World wasn't hitting the same numbers as The Cosby Show. Obviously, it was a spinoff. But there's still a lot of people out there that are real big Different World fans. So you'd be surprised at how many people this actually affects and how many people are actually going to be interested in watching this show. Here's the only problem. It's Netflix that's doing it. So they have, and you see down here in the article here on Deadline, you got a bunch of, I don't want to, you got a bunch of new actors and actresses, so there's no point in even going over all that. I did watch The Cosby Show growing up. I did watch reruns of this show growing up as well. But I just don't have that same connection, obviously, to this as I would like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or maybe Martin, Full House, stuff like that. What was that one show? Growing Pains, Sister, Smart Guy, Lizzie McGuire, all those shows. Even Stevens, Kenan and Kel, I can go all day. But anyway, I have a real connection with those shows more so than I do with like A Different World or The Cosby Show or Different Strokes and stuff like that. So I'm not entirely too disappointed in this, especially with we haven't gotten much. They come up with the premise right here that I'm going to read here in a second. But if you look right here, they are bringing back Debbie Allen, who actually produced and directed and actually acted in the original Different World series. Now, again, Different World is a spinoff of The Cosby Show. So we're making a sequel to a spinoff from the original Cosby Show. Like at what point? And I know I say this all the time. I sound like a broken record at this point. I don't care. But at what point are we going to look at the Warner Brothers and the Netflixes and the Disneys and say, hey, man, can we create something original? Can we do something new? I watched Weapons the other night. And even though that movie is an original movie, and it wasn't as good as I heard that it was going to be, but I still enjoyed it. Still enjoyed the movie. It was still a pretty good movie overall. That was original. It's not a sequel. It's not a spinoff. And I hope that they never make a sequel to that movie. But guess what? Since that movie was so successful this past summer, guess what they're going to do? They're going to make a sequel to that movie. And then they're going to do a spinoff. They're going to milk every single dollar. Even if it includes them making another 2 movies that probably won't make as much money as it did, as the original did. And then they're going to sit here and wonder why they didn't make the kind of money. They're going to sit here and blame the writer, blame the director. And it's like, nah, fam. Some of these stories just need to be left alone. A Different World, the Huxtable stories in general, need to be left alone. Because I can tell you one thing that I'm for sure going to see by watching this show. There's going to be, if not at least a couple lines, bashing Bill Cosby's character or bashing Bill Cosby in general. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. You have 2 women in charge of this entire show. You got Felicia Pryor, who not thankfully, but who respectfully was a showrunner for Bel-Air, which they're coming out with their last season, and it is a surprisingly good show. I was not on board when the show first came out, but after sitting down and watching it, it's actually a pretty good show. Not the best show or anything like that. Nothing to go raving in the whole world about or anything like that. But it's decent. It's a decent show. And now that show's ending, so I'm assuming Felicia Pride, now she's got some time to hop on this whole Different World spinoff or sequel or whatever. But I'm telling you guys right now, having Debbie Allen on here, and they made it a point in this article to make sure that you all know that the original writer, or not the writer, but the original director and actor and producer of A Different World from the 80s, it was like 80s, 90s, is coming back And it's going to be directing 3 episodes, including the first episode of this show. So do not fret, do not worry. This is what they're going to do. This is what they do. Oh yeah, we're going to give you some slop. We're going to give you some shit. But guess what? We have the original writer, or we have the original director. I mean, look, they've done it a million times in Hollywood. We've seen it. We've seen the Netflixes of the world. And look, say all you want about Netflix. I'm doing the same here in this video. But the one thing that gives me a little bit of hope with this show is Cobra Kai. Because look, and even though Netflix didn't pick up, they didn't start Cobra Kai. They picked it up from YouTube. But I thought as soon as Netflix got Cobra Kai, they were going to fuck it up. But guess what? It got better and better and better. And it actually had a pretty good ending. Great show. Now it ended up being one of my favorite shows ever, of all time. So I do have a little bit of hope with Netflix. Not too much. I'm not leaning on, more towards the 60% side in terms of how sure I am this is going to be a good show. Probably leaning more towards like 70, 80 that it's going to be a bad show. Because of how much trust Netflix has lost in me. Or how much trust I've lost in Netflix, I'm sorry. But as Deadline previously revealed exclusively, the show will center on Deborah Wayne. So I'm guessing that's going to be, Dwayne Wayne's daughter, who was Kadeem Harrison's character from A Different World. So the youngest daughter of Hillman College's finest, of Dwayne Wayne, and Whitney Gilbert, who's Jasmine Guy, that's the old girl, as she enters her freshman year at their HBCU alma mater and finds the shadow of her parents difficult to escape. She sets out to build her own legacy while having the time of her life, alongside a whole new generation of Hillman's best and brightest. So the cast also includes a whole bunch of people that we don't know. And then you have people saying, oh, it's an honor to be a part of this. So, people are excited, as they should be. It's a different world. This is a very classic show, well-known show. And it's still attached to the original Cosby Show. But again, I have the biggest problem with this because, one, it's Netflix. So there's going to be some, I'm just scared there's going to be a bunch of propaganda and virtue signaling in it. And this is what they do with a lot of black shows anyways, because you have a lot of black creators, heads of these shows, and they do that. Oh, instead of talking, giving you guys a good story and giving you good character development, we're going to talk about the black issues in 2025. Well, there goes that. But I don't know, man. Am I overreacting? Let me know in the comments. Hit me the like, the subscribe, all that good stuff. It's just, my biggest problem with this is just that they're just going to fuck it up, man. And then they're going to do it all while saying Bill Cosby's bad, Dr. Huxtable is the worst person in the world. Like, I feel like this is going to find a way to ruin even Dr. Huxtable, a fictional character's legacy. That's how bad I think this is going to be. But I don't know. Again, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Hit that like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's your boy Corn, and I am OUT.